Hello friends, my name is Beth Korth and I'm the Art Education Coordinator and Visitor Center Manager here at Tippet Rise Art Center, located in Fishtail, Montana. I'm here at Daydreams by artist Patrick Doherty, one of the many sculptures here in the Cottonwood campus where it's really fun to go exploring and listen to the wind through the trees. Today, we're going to learn how to make our own musical shakers that replicate the sound of rustling leaves in the wind. Let's go inside and learn how. First, you'll need some clay. Today, we're using air dry clays. There's no baking necessary. You'll also need your noisemakers. We're using unpopped popcorn, but you could also use dried beans, beads, or even small rocks. You'll also need a large paintbrush, a glass of water, as well as some acrylic paint to decorate if you'd like. First, you're going to want to take your ball of clay and start to roll it out in your hands. Now, if your clay is a little tough, you might want to push it against your hard surface a couple of times, flatten it like a pancake, and bring it back and roll it back into your hands. It'll start to warm up and get a little bit more squishy and easy to work with. But you can start to roll it up. What we want to aim for, you can even roll it on the table, is we're trying to make a ball shape. Just use all of your clay to make a nice ball. Once we have that pretty smooth ball form, what you're going to want to do is take both of your thumbs and press directly into the clay. Then with the rest of your hand, go on the side and start to pinch together like a little crab. You're going to move it around, and as you do, you see you're going to start to make a little bowl shape. So you're going to keep pinching, making those walls as even as you can, not pinching harder on some spots and making thinner walls. And move that in, and then once you have a nice big bowl like this, you're going to want to move your thumbs toward the top and start to move it inward. And as you rotate, you're going to notice it's going to start to fold in a little bit. So once you have it about to there, what you're going to want to do is pinch off a little bit on both sides and start to fold it together like that. And then you'll just go ahead with your clay and pinch it together to secure it. And that's going to start to enclose your bowl into more of a sphere shape. Once you have a pretty good shape like that, where it's almost enclosed, that's when you're going to want to bring in your noisemakers. Now, it doesn't take a lot to make a lot of noise. And so what you're going to do is just add maybe 10 or 12 beads or beans, or in this case, unpopped popcorn, into your shaker, and that's going to give you some stuff to rattle around in there later on once it's dry. Once you have your noisemakers inside, take your 2 bits of clay, mold them together, and in your fingers or directly on the table, you can flatten that out into sort of a pancake shape. This is going to be the top cap for your sphere. And you can gently just go around that edge and smooth it over with your fingers. And once it's pretty secure, you could give it a little rattle. You'll hear a little bit, but just know that while the clay is still really wet, it's going to sound a lot different once it dries. Once you've got it pretty secured onto there, you're going to want to take your large paintbrush, dip it in some water, and just brush over your surface. This is a great way to get rid of some of those lumps and folds and unevenness that are part of your sphere. It doesn't take a lot of water. You absolutely don't want to use too much water because it'll start to pull the clay apart a little bit. But just a little bit of water is going to really help smooth. If you see some big folds or creases, you can always go back with your finger a little bit, especially once you've re-wetted the surface. Once you have about the texture you'd like, this is a great time where you could decorate. There's a lot of different ways to do so. You can actually use your large paintbrush, but the butt end, and actually divot into your shaker, creating different textures, stipple effect, or even draw lines across. If you want to keep that smooth surface but bring in a little color, this is also a great time to paint your shaker. So you can already, even while it's wet, bring in some nice color from your acrylic paint. And you can get some of that color wet on wet. It's going to bleed into each other a little bit. Or you could always let it dry completely and then paint it later. Depending on your different kind of clay, you're going to have different drying techniques. Because this is air dry clay, all we have to do is set it in a nice, cool indoor space overnight. You might notice it sounds a little bit different once it's fully dry. Now you're ready to make music. Have fun with these anywhere. You can make multiples and really get to making some awesome music sounds out there. Thanks for watching. For more videos, check out our YouTube channel. For more information about Tippet Rise Art Center, go to www.tippetrise.org.